I thought my life was perfect. I mean, who wouldn't want what I had? Jake and I had been together for 5 years. People would stop me on the street just to comment on how perfect we looked together. I had it all: love, trust, and what I believed was loyalty. But something felt off. Little things started adding up. The late-night texts, the sudden defensiveness, the small lies about where he had been. My gut screamed at me, but I didn't want to believe it. I wanted to trust him. I wanted the life we had built together to be real. Then came the day I found it. The message from a woman named Leela. One glance at his phone and I saw every intimate word, every lie, every betrayal. My chest felt like it was being crushed. All those quiet suspicions I had pushed away suddenly made sense. My perfect life was a lie. I stared at the phone, numb. I could have confronted him, screamed, cried, begged him to stay. But that wasn't me anymore. That wasn't the version of me that had trusted him blindly. No, I needed something else. I needed revenge. And not just any revenge. I wanted him to feel the same crushing humiliation that I had felt for months. I wanted the world to see what kind of person he really was. This was personal, and it had to be calculated. I spent the next few days gathering evidence, screenshots, secret chat logs, emails. I mapped out every lie, every betrayal. I documented it meticulously. My plan was simple yet diabolical. Jake wasn't just going to get dumped. He was going to be exposed, humiliated, and left with nothing. It wasn't about rage or impulsiveness anymore. It was about control. I had been powerless while he betrayed me, but not anymore. The person who had laughed behind my back was about to experience the consequences, and I couldn't wait to see the look on his face when it all came crashing down. After gathering every piece of evidence, I knew I had to strike carefully. I couldn't just post it online impulsively. That wouldn't have the impact I wanted. I wanted it to hit him where it hurt most. His pride, his reputation, his so-called perfect image. I started small. Anonymous messages to his closest friends. Carefully crafted screenshots to coworkers who trusted him. The whispers started slowly, almost like a virus spreading through his social circle. And then came the panic. I could almost hear him trying to figure out who had done this, trying to regain control. But he couldn't. The more I watched him unravel, the more I felt a strange satisfaction. Not cruelty, but justice. The Jake everyone knew was gone, replaced by the panicked, insecure man who had spent months hiding his lies. Then I escalated. I knew he was planning a dinner party with mutual friends, thinking everything was normal, perfect. That's exactly where he would be most vulnerable. I made sure the evidence reached everyone attending, anonymously, carefully, and timed perfectly. On the night of the party, I watched from a distance. Jake walked in confidently, thinking he was still in control. His phone started buzzing relentlessly. Friends received screenshots. Strangers in the room were whispering. The panic on his face was priceless. He tried to explain, to deny, to laugh it off, but the evidence was undeniable. Every lie he told, every secret he kept, was now public knowledge. For the first time in months, I felt free. Free from the lies, free from the betrayal, free from the person who had taken my trust and stomped on it without a second thought. And Jake, he was finally learning what it felt like to lose control. It was satisfying, yes, but more importantly, it was the closure I needed. I didn't just want revenge, I wanted justice, for myself, and for anyone else who might have suffered from his manipulation. Seeing him unravel in public was almost surreal. He kept glancing around the room, whispering to friends, hoping someone would back him up. But everyone had the truth now. Even people who had never met me before knew about his deceit. I could see the shame eating away at him like a slow fire. I watched as he tried to salvage his reputation, but it was gone. Gone forever. The man who had laughed at my trust was now trembling, apologizing, stammering, trying desperately to explain himself. But no one cared anymore. His mask was shattered. I stayed quiet the entire time. I didn't need to speak. His actions spoke louder than any words. I felt a surge of power, not the kind that comes from hurting someone, but the kind that comes from finally standing up for yourself. After the party, I made sure every online platform knew the truth. Social media posts, Reddit threads, anonymous tips. The story spread like wildfire. Friends, coworkers, even distant acquaintances couldn't escape the truth. Jake's perfect image was destroyed, and he had no one to blame but himself. I knew that what I did might seem extreme to some, but betrayal has a way of justifying extreme measures. I didn't want to be a victim anymore. I wanted the person who betrayed me to experience the exact kind of devastation he had caused me. And the best part? I didn't have to stoop to cruelty or lies. Every move I made was precise, planned, and deserved. Revenge had become a game, and I was winning. Every time I thought about the weeks of manipulation, the lies, and the heartbreak, I smiled knowing he was finally paying the price. After the storm, life settled into a strange calm. Jake was a shadow of the man he once was. The public humiliation had changed him. Friends abandoned him, coworkers kept their distance, and the social media fallout ensured he would never be trusted the same way again. For me, the aftermath was emotional but liberating. I had spent months feeling powerless, angry, and heartbroken. Now I felt alive again. I realized that revenge wasn't about hatred. It was about reclaiming yourself, setting boundaries, and showing the world that betrayal has consequences. I took the time to heal, reconnect with friends who genuinely cared, and focus on things that truly mattered. I felt a sense of empowerment that I had never felt before. The story of my revenge even made it to Reddit, where thousands of people praised the cleverness and precision of my actions. Comments flooded in. "This is the ultimate revenge. I wish I had your guts. Karma never looked so good." Through it all, I understood that revenge, when executed smartly, could be a form of self-respect. It wasn't about cruelty, it was about justice. And for anyone out there who has been betrayed, my story serves as proof. You don't have to be a victim forever. You can take back your power, and sometimes in the most shocking ways imaginable. Looking back, I learned more than I could have imagined. Betrayal is painful, but it also teaches resilience. Trust is precious, and when it's broken, you have the right to stand up for yourself. Revenge doesn't have to be impulsive. It can be strategic, controlled, and ultimately satisfying. I also learned the importance of patience. Had I acted rashly, the impact wouldn't have been as powerful. By waiting, planning, and observing, I ensured that my actions had maximum effect, not just on Jake, but on everyone around him who thought he was untouchable. And most importantly, I learned that the end of one story is the beginning of another. My life moved forward. Jake's betrayal no longer had power over me. The craziest revenge story, the one that shocked him and everyone else, became a story of empowerment, strategy, and reclaiming control over my own life. So if you've ever been hurt, betrayed, or cheated on, remember this. Karma is real, and sometimes it's best served cold and calculated. Never forget your worth, and never let anyone diminish your value. And always, always remember, the best revenge is the one that restores your peace, dignity, and strength. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, hit like, subscribe, and comment below with the craziest revenge story you've witnessed. We might feature it in the next video.